Greetings, Millbrook families. This is news from around the district in the Millbrook Minute. First up, we have Mr. Sipe from the high school.
Thank you, Superintendent Hernandez. Today, IBM engineers visited our science classrooms as part of their annual E-Week. They were also at the middle school on April 12th and worked with our forensic high school classes as well. Special thanks to all of the volunteers who came out to work with our students. This week, our athletic teams had a great week. Next week, our baseball team will be home on Wednesday, and softball team is home on Friday, both at 4:15 p.m. Lastly, congratulations to Natalie Fox and Santino Quattrochi, who were both selected as the 2024 Mahal Senior Scholar Athlete Award winners, representing Millbrook High School. Congratulations, Natalie and Santino. Enjoy the long weekend. Here's Mr. Lipka at Alden Place Elementary School.
Thank you, Mr. Sipe. Our elementary math coach, Dr. Sobram, will be meeting with teachers on Tuesday to plan post-testing instruction for grades 3 to 5. The New York State math testing will take place on Wednesday and Thursday next week in grades 3 through 8. Those not participating will be given a district assignment in its place. Kindness Club meets on Wednesday, Creative Kids on Thursday, and Mindful Karate returns to Alden Place on Friday, with each classroom having a designated time. Have a wonderful long weekend as well. Now to Mrs. O'Connell at Elm Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Lepka. An amazing week here. We had another incredible Grandparents' Day. Thank you to all the parent volunteers as well as our PTO for making this event such a success. Also, thank you to Mr. Herzog for another great Arbor Day celebration. Our K and first grade students assisted in the planting of a new tree in our Elm field. Mark your calendars. Elm is going to have its next spring music festival on May 17th. We're excited to embed a small art gallery walk on this day as well to showcase some of the great masterpieces created this year in art class. Have a great weekend, and now on to Ms. Chanowski with news from Pupil Personnel Services.
Thank you so much, Mrs. O'Connell. We've been very busy here in the PPS office this week and the previous weeks hosting our annual review meetings for all of our students at varying levels. We continue to kind of close out our Elm Drive and Alden Place meetings, and then have a few meetings that needed to be rescheduled due to whether it's weather-related things or other things that came up. So we are looking forward to those meetings to wrap up the school year. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And now on to Ms. Holzborg in Student Services.
Thank you, Mrs. Chanowski. Even though we had to unfortunately cancel our internet safety presentation last evening due to unforeseen circumstances, there is still an opportunity for you to participate in a virtual internet safety presentation hosted by P&W BOCES provided by Tom Roydal on May 15th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. You must register for this event. Registration can be found on our Blazer Bulletin or on our Facebook page. Lastly, if you have not already done so, please RSVP to our Wellness Fair events that will be taking place on Thursday, May 9th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And we will have numerous vendors surrounding health and wellness, including a food truck. Have a great weekend. And now on to Dr. Watkins in Curriculum and Instruction.
Thank you, Ms. Holzborg. So this week, as you've heard, the IBM engineers were here for Engineers Week, and I had the chance to go to Alden Place when they were working with 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. The challenges were led by Mr. Jason Rowland, who had students building a stable bridge design, and they practiced developing their design, testing it, and also, most importantly, learning how to reflect on the data they collected and make modifications. As Mr. Lipka already shared that Dr. Sobin will be back last week, I had the opportunity to visit her working this week with grade 5 teachers. She's our instructional math coach and has been working with teachers on upcoming units and discussing activities to reinforce the skills that students are working to master. If your child in high school has not told you yet and they have a Regents coming up, we do have a Regents boot camp being offered this year. So if they're wondering what day their teacher is offering a boot camp, just have them talk to their teacher to ensure that it will be provided on a particular day. As a reminder, we hope everyone has a great long weekend. There is no school on Monday, April 29th, so enjoy the long weekend. With that, we're off to Business and Personnel with Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. I want to extend a big thank you to our facilities and operations team who've spent the last week really beautifying our outside buildings and grounds and getting our athletic fields ready for competition this week. It's amazing how quickly they can transform our campus and get it ready for spring. So thank you guys for all the hard work you're putting in outside. I also want to thank our community members who came out to our most recent and final capital project public forum this past Tuesday. We had a pretty good turnout. Some really good questions were asked. And just for those that are looking for more information, this was our last scheduled public information session. However, we do have a virtual webinar recorded on our website available for you to learn more about our project, as well as our slide deck and some frequently asked questions. The fastest way to get there is on our homepage. Right at the top of the page, you see a Capital Projects button that will bring you to the Capital Projects splash page. There's also a button about voter information. So as a reminder to everybody, May 21st is right around the corner, and that's going to be from 12 noon to 9 p.m. Our vote is taking place at Millbrook Middle School in the auditorium, as it usually does every year. There will be 4 propositions on the ballot, as well as 2 board members up for re-election. So we encourage your participation. We hope that everybody is able to can come out and support the district on May 21st. With that, we'll go back to Ms. Hernandez to close us out.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. As you know, and Mr. Garcia just reminded us, our annual budget vote is coming up in just a few short weeks on May 21st. The Millbrook Central School District follows a personal registration process, which is aligned with New York State education law. This requires that any interested and eligible voter must register in person in order to vote in our election and budget vote. If you have not voted in one of the past 4 elections, you are no longer registered and need to register again in person. If you're unable to register during regular business hours, you may contact our district clerk, Ms. Cheryl Sprague, in order to set up an appointment. The last day to register is May 16th, and with no exceptions to that. We also just heard from Mr. Cabello. He and the 8th graders are on their way home from Washington, D.C., and they report having had a fantastic time visiting the city's historic landmarks. With that, I wish you all a happy long weekend, and we will see you next week.